Brought to you by Wall Street Prison Consultants.
I'm Olivia, a custody advisor at Wall Street Prison Consultants. Today I'm going to explain the sequential steps of a federal criminal trial. Number 1. Investigation. The initiation of a federal case often begins with an investigation. Agencies such as the FBI, DEA, or ATF and HSI delve into suspected criminal activities, gathering evidence and interviewing potential witnesses. This phase can be short or span years, depending on the complexity of the case. Number 2. Arrest. Once enough evidence is accumulated, an arrest may be made. Alternatively, the case might be presented directly to a grand jury without an initial arrest. If arrested, the individual is taken into custody. Number 3. Initial appearance. After arrest, defendants are brought before a federal magistrate judge for initial appearances, where the defendant is informed about the charges against them and their constitutional rights. If the arrest was made without a warrant, a preliminary hearing is scheduled to determine if there's probable cause for arrest. Number 4. Grand jury and indictment. Comprising 16 to 23 members, the grand jury reviews the prosecution's evidence and decides whether there's sufficient reason to charge the defendant. If the grand jury finds probable cause, they issue an indictment. Number 5. Arraignment. Post-indictment, the defendant is arraigned, where they are informed of the indictment and asked to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. Number 6. Pre-trial motions. Before the trial starts, both the defense and prosecution can file motions. These can range from requests to suppress evidence, dismiss the case, or change the trial's venue. This phase allows both sides to shape the scope and direction of the trial. Number 7. Plea bargaining. Many federal cases don't proceed to trial due to plea agreements. The prosecution might offer a lesser charge or recommend a lighter sentence in exchange for the defendant's guilty plea, avoiding the uncertainties and resources involved in trial. Number 8. Trial. If no plea agreement is reached, the case goes to trial. Criminal trials typically involve 12 jurors, and the prosecution bears the burden of proving the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense, meanwhile, seeks to challenge the prosecution's evidence and present its narrative. Trials can be swift or protracted, depending on the case's intricacies. Number 9. Verdict. After both parties have presented their cases, the jury deliberates and decides the defendant's guilt or innocence. If the defendant is acquitted, they are released, and the charges are dismissed. If found guilty, the case transitions to the sentencing phase. Number 10. Sentencing. A separate sentencing hearing is scheduled after a guilty verdict or plea. Pre-sentence reports, prepared by probation officers, play a crucial role in helping the judge decide on an appropriate sentence. These reports provide comprehensive details about the defendant and the crime, ensuring the sentence is both punitive and just. For more information on understanding the steps in a federal criminal case, you should consider hiring a prison consultant. Now, let's talk about Wall Street Prison Consultants. Hiring Wall Street Prison Consultants, when facing federal criminal charges, can provide valuable support and guidance through a complex and intimidating process, and help defendants take advantage of programs offering substantial early release. Here's why someone in this situation might consider hiring them. While there's no shortage of criminal defense attorneys to represent defendants in the courtroom, most attorneys' knowledge of custody ends at the prison gates, leaving clients to fend for themselves after the judge renders sentencing. According to legal statistics, 97% of those charged are convicted, with thousands of white-collar defendants sentenced to federal prison each year, the majority being first-time offenders clueless what to expect upon entering custody. Wall Street's services begin long before a defendant even goes inside, and continues after release. Depending on when retained, They guide clients through indictment, trial, pleas, sentencing, and prison survival all the way through supervised release. By using their services, clients develop an edge when dealing with their lawyers. Wall Street takes the mystery out of the judicial court process by educating clients with easy-to-understand step-by-step explanations on federal criminal statutes, indictments, and how it applies to them, so they can make educated decisions about their case and understand the ramifications of a criminal trial versus taking a plea agreement. As I'm sure you're aware, prisons can be dangerous places, and having knowledge about prison policies, early release programs, medical care, inmate jobs, dealing with gangs, staff interactions, and the basic politics surrounding incarceration are the keys to surviving successfully and returning home safely. Many defendants are often confused listening to lawyers, friends, and family members about what will happen to them and whether hiring a prison survival consultant is helpful at all. While others may have opinions, they are typically not qualified opinions. And once sentenced, it's the defendant's freedom and safety at stake, with everyone else's well-meaning opinions being worthless. When going to prison, knowledge is key, and hiring a prison consultant with facts instead of uninformed viewpoints can be the difference between early release and spending unnecessary time in custody. Wall Street prison consultants have detailed knowledge of both the federal legal system and the inner workings of the federal prison system. Their expertise can demystify the process for defendants and their families and help them prepare for what lies ahead by offering strategies and advice on how to reduce sentencing length through various legal channels and inmate programs, focusing on aspects legal teams might overlook. If a prison sentence is unavoidable, Wall Street prepares defendants for the realities of prison life, teaches them survival tactics, and helps with the emotional transition from freedom to confinement, as well as securing designation to a preferred facility that meets an inmate's needs and aligns with their specific security level or health requirements. Wall Street offers support in planning for life after release, including supervised release requirements and re-entry into society, and doesn't make false promises, but provide a realistic view of the situation and what can be done to mitigate it. While they are not lawyers, they often work in conjunction with legal teams to make sure that all aspects of the defendant's situation are being considered and offer more personalized and continuous support compared to a legal team, especially during the post-trial and imprisonment stages. In essence, they can provide comprehensive support tailored to the unique needs and challenges faced by someone charged with a federal crime, and help them navigate through both the legal and prison systems. It's a specialized service that can add an extra layer of support and guidance that complements the legal defense, but doesn't replace the need for competent legal representation. For more information, contact the director and founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants, Larry Levine, at 213-948-1069, or by email at help@wallstreetprisonconsultants.com. Or visit us on the web at wallstreetprisonconsultants.com.